I know. The graphics is very dramatic, but so is this topic, and it looks like this has been happening once in a while, but every time it happens, it does draw a lot of attention. So there was another crash in Florida. I think it's only a month after there was one in Utah, and it's very similar to what we've seen before throughout the year, where Tesla would be driving on an autopilot, and there will be a car that's like either a fire truck or whatever, just kind of a stationary in on the road where everything's flowing, and it would create a false positive, I guess, where it would just not see it essentially and just completely crash into it. Now, the guy who's suing Tesla this time around, um, I I'm glad we're talking about it because obviously this is something that Tesla needs to fix, and other companies developing this. Like Waymo need to pay very, very big attention, and I'll talk about it in a second. But I don't really like how at this point, people who are suing Tesla are unhappy with this particular point. How is it they're not aware when they're buying an autopilot that this is something they really need to take responsibility for? So we're going to talk about that. I'll tell you what happened. All of this coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric. Thank you to those of you who are watching me live on Patreon. If you want to join, it's at patreon.com/e4electric. And if this is your first time here and you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. If you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, and I have a feeling you might, well, there's a subscribe button down there, so you can click on it. It's free, and that way you won't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about it. There are no pictures of the crash. Sorry, that's why I had to do this Photoshop thing. But there's a quote that's coming from this guy who's suing Tesla. Now, he sustained some permanent, he says, severe permanent injuries by crashing into a Ford Fiesta going 80 miles an hour, and I didn't know what Ford Fiesta looked like, but I thought I had a picture of it here, but apparently I don't. Here it is. Man, I should be really more prepared for the show and attend rehearsals. So this is what Ford Fiesta looks like. This is their press image, and it looks like it's been taken after it got stalled at the huge parking lot there. And I'm going to assume this is not the first time Ford Fiesta ruined someone's life, just a wild guess. But nevertheless, this is the little car that the Tesla got crashed in. Now, there are a few interesting things before even I get to the quote that these guys had either through his attorney or through the actual lawsuit, whatever write-up, whatever you call it. Now he works for a Nissan dealership, by the way, which is interesting. He commutes 125 miles every day, which I also don't quite understand, because I'm assuming it's both ways. So I'm assuming it's 60 miles, which means an hour and a half one way, 2-3 hours in traffic. Boy, that dealership must be paying real good money if that's the job that he's, and I know I never got it, like, in terms of spending so much time in traffic for a job, but listen, I know people got to put bread on their table. I moved cities, I have to say, right? I just moved to Sacramento so I can do this job full time. So, all right, okay. I think I just proved my own point. But all right. So now he was going also 80 miles an hour, and he was looking at the phone, which he kind of said that's what he thought he was supposed to do. So breaking the speed limit, looking at the phone, didn't see the Ford Fiesta. And okay, so let me give you the quote. Before that, let me just remind you guys that this show and this channel is sponsored by Climate Exchange. They are a nonprofit organization, but they are running a really awesome raffle. They're selling no more than 4,000 tickets, and they're raffling off three Teslas. So think about your chances. I think they're pretty damn good, but it's up to you to decide. There is a link in the description of this video. You can buy these tickets. They're $250 each, but and even if you don't win the awesome car, you'll still be doing a good deed, because you'll be contributing to this non-profit organization mission of moving all of us towards the low emission, low carbon economy. US only, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. All right, so let me give you the quote from this guy's a complaint in court. He basically said Tesla has duped consumers, including Hudson, his last name is Hudson, into believing that the autopilot system it offers with Tesla vehicles at additional cost can safely transport passengers at highway speeds with minimal input and oversight from those passengers. Well, that's technically true, but at the same time, I think at this point, there's been plenty of talk about this, and Tesla has been very clear. And that's what Tesla's response was. It's like, guys, we tell you this all the time that you're still responsible. You still have to keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. Now, this is one of the reasons I regret getting my autopilot. By the way, when I got mine, there was no keeping your hands on the wheel thing at all. But that's my personal choice. If I am staying with Tesla brand, I'm definitely not getting the autopilot. I also hate the fact that they've moved away from Mobileye and developed their own that wasn't even close to what it was, and it took like 2 years to even get to the point. I'm not a fan, and you guys know. And by the way, the reason I think a lot of these people believe they're duped into it is because the damn thing is called autopilot. It will be called driver assistant or something like that. I think there will be just less cases like this because there was not much they could say. Now, here's another one, and this quote actually bothers me even more. Let me know which one bothers you more. But it basically says the company says that they're saying the company, the Tesla says, we told you we're going to drive you, don't worry about the road, watch it, but we're also going to put this giant 20-inch screen right here with web browsing capabilities so you can be distracted the entire time, but if you crash, that's your fault. No, they're not saying that. As a matter of fact, they're saying we're putting this awesome screen in there so you can navigate the car, but you should definitely keep your eyes on the road. We told you that many times, and keep your hands on the wheel. Now, to me, that's the whole point of having an autopilot. And if I have to keep my eyes on the road, then I really don't want it, and I can just do the damn thing myself. But nevertheless, they did tell you this, and 20-inch screen there is not for you to web browse, by the way. That's another thing that they tell you is that, hey, by the way, who browses on that screen? That browser is awful. I don't know anybody who uses a web browser in their Tesla, by the way. So, yeah, so I call BS on this one, I think. But there's one point that they did make, which I kind of will have to partially agree with, and I'm kind of looking forward to you guys' responses in the comment section. They're saying what Tesla officially claims, which is, hey, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, is different from how they present it, how their salespeople presenting it at Tesla's showrooms. And I have to agree that the first time when I was buying my car, I really was under the impression that this is going to be the car will drive me, right? I don't have to worry about anything. If that is true, that I think Tesla might want to be even more careful about how they're selling it at their location, right? Because we know what their official word is, but how they actually handle it in their showrooms, obviously that's up to every person's experience. But listen, the claim like this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry he is hurt, and yes, Tesla has a lot to work on because. And yes, there are explanations why stuff like this happens is because, when everybody else is moving and everything else that's stationary, they kind of have to take the system, the AI system, kind of have to assume that that is part of the environment. And I still don't understand how they're just not able to see that, that this particular car is stationary. I don't want to get into it. I'm just saying that obviously Tesla and everybody else has a lot of stuff to do. By the way, in other news, Waymo was clear to actually now here in California. Well, they're only going to do it in the Mountain View, California area. Their Waymo or driverless cars will be on the road without drivers, period. And it looks like Waymo has had one of the best, if not the best, technologies for self-driving vehicles. So that's pretty exciting, and they're getting a bunch of Jaguar I-Paces as a part of their fleet once Jaguar is going to actually ramp up their production. So let me know about the story now. I'm still kind of in the middle here. I think the lawsuit is ridiculous, but at the same time, I think Tesla really need to tighten things up and again, maybe rename the damn thing. Looking forward to your comments. Looking forward to the comments on Patreon. And let me just mention, usually I mention my newest Patreon, but this time just want to mention Michael. He's been a patron for a while. He just upped his contribution to $25 a month, which is insane because my biggest level is highest level is $5. So thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciated this. All my Patreons have basically allowed me. They're part of of my income that allowed me to be able to do this full time. Now I'm making 3 videos a day for you guys, and they also kind of get to shape what the show is about, because my interaction with a lot of them is very close, and there's full access. Of course, I get to watch me live and watch the extra segment that I call the extra mile that I do specifically for them. Tomorrow, I will be at this event here in Sacramento. This is an event to promote, I guess this is launch of the Envoy a service. You probably never heard of it, neither have I, but as you know, Electrify America had like $2 billion budget as a result of the Volkswagen paying their Dieselgate penalties. They've been mainly building out a fast charging network here in the US, actually faster than even Tesla's supercharger. But one of their other projects is this one, and this is a service that kind of like Zipcar, only all cars are all electric. I believe they'll start with a fleet of Volkswagen Golfs, obviously, e-Golfs, and we'll go from there. Mayor of Sacramento will be there. I'm hoping to interview him, hoping to interview one of the representatives from Electrify America that are usually very elusive, unfortunately, and I'm probably gonna go live there and then have an extra segment for you guys as well. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss that, and you don't miss something new I'm doing. I'm actually going live on YouTube every Sunday, not really talking about news, anything in particular, just to hang out, just to talk to you guys. If you have any questions and stuff like that. Last time I think we went through like 3 hours until I was able to answer all the questions, but that was a lot of fun. So only more reason to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss stuff like this. Other than that, guys, this has been fun. I'm looking forward to more. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, another behind the scenes stuff that you can follow me at E4Electric. All right, I will see you next time, and remember to stay charged.